Hey everyone, it's Dark Sun, obviously. Uh, been a while since I made a tutorial, and right now we're gonna go do a another build order build. This one's last one we did was a 3 racks pressure into macro oriented build order. This one is gonna be kind of like reverse in a way. We're gonna do a 1 racks fast expand gasless. It's just like the other build in somewhat of a way. We're gonna take our gases on this. So here we go. So 1 racks. I always hotkey the SCV once the Rex goes down to go scout. You got 2 options of scouting. You can check all the proxy areas here, 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 here. And, sometimes it might be here, but that's like a starport proxy. You know what I mean? Unless it's like a barracks and then try to float in here, which I don't know how that will work, but yeah, it is a possibility. Or the second is to go beeline straight to the base. You should be able to get the SCV in the base before they can block it off. Uh, but don't be surprised if you get your SCV locked in there. Anyways, right at 19 supply, we're going to turn this into an orbital, queue up a worker. Sometimes you might accidentally queue up a SCV, cancel it, and turn it into an orbital. Right away, we're going to drop the command center down. Normally, we'll gather the minerals off the mineral patch to drop it, but since we're not grabbing gas, we drop it instantly. So, Marine comes out. Then, make our second depot, second Marine. Always go back and forth and check your scouting. You're like, watch me. I go double click one, F1. Double click one, F1. Barracks. Whatever key to get you back in the base. Don't do this. Don't do this. None of this. I don't want to see this. This is bad. Get out of that. Now. Practice it. Just do it. Practice it while you're practicing your build order. People say it's boring to practice build orders. Well, if you can't go back and forth with your hotkeys correctly, then yeah. Wrong. Anyways, the worker that made the second depot is I already right clicked it down here to make the bunker. You don't have to shift click. You could, but I'm saving my APM by just doing that. Just right click. It goes by the first command that you left on from whatever you were doing with it. So like if it's making a building, if I right click right here, it will go right there after it's done making the building. Or like if it's done making the building, I can right click on this refinery. It will go to the refinery. It will go to whatever you right click. It only does one command after it builds something. Other than that, you'd be shift clicking on everything. Like these guys, I have them shift click back to the mineral lines. If you notice, I do a lot of this. Like I box the SCVs and I make something, and then I shift queue back. That's what I always do. But be careful on that though. Because look on the right here, your idle SCV worker counter thingy. This will tell you if you accidentally clicked on your own workers. That is a thing that tends to happen to people that accidentally click on their workers, and yeah, that messes up. Another technique that some people do is that they won't shift click it. They'll just let the barracks make, and then they use their idle worker hotkey, bring them back to the mineral line. That works too, I guess. So I've never used it, so I'm always shift click happy. So you're probably wondering what Carson, you aren't explaining the build order. Sorry. Go over it very quickly. So if you notice, I don't really go by the supply count too much. I use the buildings and units and upgrades and stuff like that to keep track. Maybe sometimes the timer, but for the most part, as a Terran player, I go by units, upgrades, and buildings. So bunker goes down. Usually when I build up this much minerals, I drop down 2 barracks. Next thing to build. And then you grab your double refineries. I wait Actually, no, that's a good timing. I haven't done this build in a long time. This is like old Winged Liberty build. I'd say this is good for against Protoss and Terran. Zerg, not so much. But you can give it an attempt. I don't go for it. You know, it's good to practice build anyways. This is a very good macroing kind of practice build. You should be able to beat like Diamond 1 players if you're good enough. I've done it. Okay, so after Double Refinery, you're gonna get a tech lab. I go for the eBay pretty soon. Make sure you got these orbitals. As soon as these command centers, this command center's done, you want to turn it into an orbital. Obviously, never. Yeah. If you don't remember, after you one racks fax expand, don't make command center and then orbital. No, make orbital then command center. That's a mistake that people tend to do. The energy is more sufficient, making more workers. Okay, eBay done. So around this time right here is when the Banshee be heading here. The cloak. Okay. So normally I put this eBay down a lot sooner if it's a one base, because like right now the Banshee be like halfway across. Turrets are done. I can't remember. It's been a while since it's seen a Banshee base come in. But you know, if that's the case, turret in the middle line, and one right in the middle of the production. You want like a triangle. Triangle is nice, so you can zone out the Banshee. That's the good stuff right there. So after you put down the 2 barracks, the 2 refiners, the E-bays, want to get the tech lab as soon as possible, get the stim going as soon as possible. Turrets up. The next gas spent one is the factory. As soon as the factory's done, as soon as the factory goes down, you're going to grab another refinery. You're going to put double reactors on the barracks. You're going to be making 2 supply depots at this point because you're on 2 bases. Remember, 1 depot for 1 base, 2, 3 for 3, etc. Okay, the next gas I spent after the add-ons is +1. Now you could go for the +1, then the add-ons. It's up to you. It doesn't matter. You do you. You do what you want, okay? Okay, then making those Marines. Starport reactor. Do you have to get the reactor? No. You can get a tech lab and start making tanks. Now on the starport, reactor it. Done. Doesn't matter. I don't care. But I'm doing a Marine medevac, a traditional old school Marine pure bio opener with Marines and medevacs. As soon as the starport goes down, the other refinery goes down. So remember, third refinery goes down when the factory goes down, or refinery goes down, starport goes down. Okay, combat shield. Do I remember it? I should remember it. Sometimes it's good if you're like almost done, you queue up the combat shield, which I probably forgot because I was half asleep. Here we go. Probably forgot to put guys on gas. Okay, tech lab on the factory to get the tanks going. Medevacs. Still forgot for some odd reason. That's fine. It's mostly minerals based that you're going for anyways when it comes to this. It's actually good that I did not put the guys back on gas. More guys on gas. Okay, anyways. First 2 medevacs come out. Now, it's good to have marine spotters, too, since you're so marine heavy. You notice I got... How you always start this. I would say that the way how I would start this, earlier in the game, I would have put a marine here. Here. One in the middle. Why? Because you want to look for drops, and you want to see if they're pushing the front. I kept most of my Marines like here or right here. Probably right here mostly, and you're in this area because you know if they drop, your Marines are right there to stop it. But because I mean they're not coming from the front, right? So I mean the only way they could get is if they go here or here, but we didn't put spotters yet, so I like to keep them in this area. Those are the two primary spots that they'll push at certain times. You'll know which ones, you know, game long enough to be like, I hate when I get dropped, or I hate when they push me in the front. Like you'll know when by your losses right there of what timings to send out these Marines. Get more Marines, you want to put out more spotters. One in this lane, one in this lane. If you notice, I put one in each lane, then one at the third base, one at the other potential third base. Later on, you'll probably put a Marine here. You have a Marine here, here, here. You know, well, further the game goes on, the more Marines you want to put out. You know, use your deselect ability, which is, you know, you attack, command, spot, and then shift click. Attack command on the minimap, shift click. Attack command on the minimap, shift click. Attack. I can't do it when I'm. That's how you do it. Shift attack and then rehotkey. Rehotkey your army when you do that. Forget to rehotkey your army. Don't forget to rehotkey your army. Anyways, load medevac, send it out. You don't have to salvage the bunker. I just did that because I wanted, but you don't have to. More greedy me not doing that. Okay, so you're gonna get your +1 armor. You're gonna pump out tanks, and you're gonna send out your Marines here. Then you're gonna boost these other two medevacs across. What you're gonna do is you're gonna do a pincher. So by the time this army shows up here, this army should be right here. It's at whatever central third base is. There's a couple tactics that you can do from here. And in the meantime, since you're playing this bio-heavy style, you should be allowed to take the third command center on location. You don't have to, but I'd say yes because you're going you're going for this mobile army. So your goal is to keep them pinned at their base while you get your third. Gonna push me. Well, he's not gonna push if you do this shenanigans to him. There's a couple tactics that we can go off on. Okay, so that's pretty much the build order right there. That's the phase 3 part of this build order. Phase 4 will be, you know, late game phase, which we'll do that later. So let's talk about some tactics of this build. Why this is strong. The cons of this build is air, which turrets. That's why we got the turrets so early. If it's well, I didn't put here, but a turret here, and then yeah, Banshees is one, Liberators the other, obviously air unit. So any kind of air unit attack, any kind of aggression is actually pretty strong against this. So you got to be really on top of your scouting and mobility, like interceptions. Because like, let's say he's doing a tank push in the front. Well, your job is to so you already have a bunker here, but you want to build another bunker, maybe like, well, depending on where they're coming from. You know, you might want to build one here. Maybe if they're coming through here, you know, maybe you want to build it right about like in this area. The point is to stop the push. You know, maybe you go down the ramp and try to, you know, slow it down. You know, make it force them to siege because you should have more Marines than them. Then you come back up, go in the bunker, they'll attack. You go back to this bunker. You know, you can improvise the instead of going for the reactor on the factory, you go for a tech lab to get your own tanks. You know, you can do that. But it's hard. It's hard to stop. Maybe you have to pull some workers. It's a hard thing to stop. Trial and error, you know. The other thing is a you know, all kinds of drop plays. So if you have your spotters in place and your Marines in place, pretty good. Now on to the tactical play of the offensive play of this. So you get your drop right here if there's no turrets. That way you can just run in and stim. Or if there is turrets, you just boost in, get around the turrets. Drop the Marines one by the parachute. Well, they're not actually parachuting, but the drop one by one micro. I don't know. I don't know what to call it now. And just group little Marines to stim them. So I'll show you on this one. So I did the drop and I would attack the front. And I would have waited a few seconds first because you don't want to do it at the same time, right? You want to make sure that they'll move their army from here first. As soon as they, scan if you need to. Scan and be like, oh, okay, here he comes. But keep eyes on this army. So this is the army you don't want to lose at all. The one that you're baiting them and keeping them at home. Load it up, run away. This one, let's say that they're in position. You can just load up, do like a hook shot. Back right here. So, I don't know if I do the micro on this. Yeah, see, if I did the drop like this, I would have stim. Would have stemmed like one Marine at a time or two or little groups. Do a little cutting, slice cutting micro. Load up, run away. Load up, run away. See, I gained this base for free, basically. When the +1 armor's halfway done, you gotta go for an armory and an eBay. I call this the staggering upgrade technique right here, macro. So you just start getting your double upgrades going. Depleted that mineral. Upgrade complete. You can go second factory, then double barracks, or double barracks and factory. Doesn't matter which, And obviously you're gonna get more tanks if you want factory first. I would make Vikings after the 4 medevacs. That way you can establish some air control. So he doesn't just like tank push you and you're just like, eh. I mean, this is just you don't have to do this. This is my preference. And not only that, you don't have to make turrets right away right here because of the Vikings. You're gonna put a defensive tank right here. If they drop, help deny it. I have a tank right here just in case if they run up here or they drop right here. And then I grab sensor towers right here. And maybe one right here, so I can get a good vision of where everything is. I take these gases. A good rule of thumb when grabbing gases on your second or third base, usually have 10 workers on the base mining minerals before grabbing the gases. Good way to memorize that. And then you want to drop your 4th base. That's pretty much it. And I'm pretty bad at supply blocking myself because I'm not used to mineral heavy kind of army. Like the airborne Zerglings. So there you go. That's pretty much the build. There's me putting down the turrets. And you can look for a benchmark. So let's see here. So my benchmark right here. At 10 minutes and 47 seconds, I have plus 2, +1, stim and combat shield, and I have 6 medevacs, Vikings, 2 liberators, 6 tanks, 83 Marines. Good. Already maxed at this point. I want to try to max out. Obviously, I would have lost units, or I probably did already lost units when doing these attacks and stuff, so realistically, probably will take you 11 minutes, 12 to be maxed. Saying that, estimate. That's the build right there. I would say this is good against Protoss and Terran. I'm not so much sure about Zerg, but just give it a try. I mean, it should be good all the way to Diamond. I would say Diamond, right at the tip of Diamond 1. I think your build is decent. And this is just, an opener, macro, in the future, maybe I'll go more current and more sufficient build orders, but they're going to be more complicated because it's more teching. This is less teching because I went for the 3 racks right away. Okay, so thank you. I hope this video was educational. Like I said, follow my Twitch, .tv/Darksun. I might change my stream times or something. I don't know, but make sure you hit that notification button maybe, or follow my Twitter. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video. So thanks for watching.